Over the weekend, there was a protest in Dublin where a 30-year-old man picked up a firework, pointed at a guard, and fired it. And you have to ask yourself, what the hell was he thinking? Um, for his own personal safety, by picking up that firework and holding it at eye level, had that firework gone off in front of his face, he'd have been scarred for life. Secondly, had he any consideration for the people that he was hiding amongst? He thought he was safe, but in reality, he was putting everybody else in danger. Again, had that been a defective firearm or firework and it had exploded, it could have hurt an innocent bystander. And finally, wisdom of all wisdom, he intentionally pointed it at another person with the intention of causing grievous bodily harm or possibly even murder. What the hell was he thinking? The reason that I'm talking about this tonight is because when I realised that he's been arrested now and the Director of Public Prosecutions is now creating a legal file against him, the question arose, like, what if he happened to be a member of a club, a military enthusiast club, or what if he was part of an organisation such as this? What would be the consequences of that to the club, to the members, and to the community in general? So I thought my first thoughts are towards the members of the club. Their initial reaction to what happened would be, what the hell was he thinking? Like, is this firstly, you'd ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Is this the right group that I should be with in the first place? I thought it was all about military enthusiasm and activities and such. I didn't realise that there was some sort of terrorist crime, subversive element to it. Another question that I might have as a member would be, is this the sort of thing that should be encouraged in this club? Is that what they want us to be doing? And finally, as a member, I definitely want to know, am I on the right side of the tracks here? Is everything in this club actually legal? And what are we doing this for in the first place? So as a consequence to that, you'd have to have a general meeting with the members. And at that meeting, you're going to have to reassure them that, firstly, why are we doing this? We're doing this military enthusiast club because we love doing military type activities. We love being military fit, great fitness. We love getting together on the weekends, going tank driving, hiking, shooting, and firearms and fireworks and all those dangerous things that fascinate us middle-aged people. So you have to reassure them, we're doing this because we love this. Okay. Secondly, we have to reassure them that the values that we have a higher purpose. Military grade fitness and pursuit of military type activities, the whole purpose of that is so that we can be clean, fit, healthy, positive individuals who are resilient and proactive and outgoing and positive. Good for your mental health, good for your spirituality and all that. And finally, throughout the course of the meeting, you have to reassure the club members that, we're just going to have to clamp down on, we're going to focus now on legislation with regards firearms, fireworks, what's the line there, and how do we go about making sure that we don't cross that line. Another consideration that will have to be taken up at the meeting would be our relationship with our general community, our relationship with everybody outside our organisation. For that, we're going to have to appoint a very good public relations officer, somebody who's willing to go out into the community and reassure the community in general that we're not some sort of criminal element, where we have a higher purpose, we're doing this for positive for positive affirmations and things like that. As a PRO or public relations officer, we would probably push the club towards more charitable activities, more community type activities. Just getting the people out and realizing that we're open, that we're socially responsible. And yeah, some pillock went up to Dublin and made an ass of himself. That's no reflection on the rest of our members. Sure, look at them. They're out there doing their charity drive and walking and for Pieta House and whatever. Third consideration we would have to take would be, for example, if that member was indeed in our club and the DPP has serious legal questions that need to be answered in a court, we'd have to employ, we'd have to get some legal advice, we'd have to get some legal representation, somebody who's willing to go up to the courts and explain who we are, what we do, and to make a statement on that particular member. And then, of course, any relationships that we have with the guards or with the army, their first considerations would be like they're going to have very serious questions for us to answer, and it'll be up to us to actually go to them and make approaches to them and say, look, we're not all like this fella. He was a bad apple. Don't kill this organization just because of one bad apple. And we'll probably have to do we'd have to work closer with the guards and with the army. If, for example, if we wanted to go to use the ranges, or if we wanted to get involved with weapons or access to resources and things like that, we would have to reassure them that we're definitely not criminal and we're doing this for a better, higher purpose. As for the member himself, now that guy, he's going to be the next 5 years in prison. Or if he's not going to prison, he'll be advised to stay well away from military type organizations and extremist type things, and basically he'd be advised to stay away from us. So I would push to have a 5-year ban on his membership, and I would not push to have a full-time ban on him, because first and foremost, this is a social organization, and the purpose of the social organization is to encourage members to create an environment for members to be able to come in and share their ideas with the group. And as grotesque as those ideas are, by them being able to share their ideas, as bad as they are, we can then work with them in terms of we can rationalize it out with them, we can role play things with them, we can discuss things in depth, so that they can, because the reason that they have those ideas in the first place is born out of fear and anger and hatred, and you have to be able to engage with those people, and you have to encourage them out of their shell, and you have to get them to say what they really feel and what they really mean about things. And only then can you actually, work with them. And had that Lachiko up in Dublin shared his idea with us and we did a role play on it, it'd have been far safer for this guy to role play the idea of shooting a guard in the head with an airsoft rifle or a paintball gun or whatever, so that he could realize and rationalize the consequences of his actions. He would have had second thoughts about the whole, about that protest and what he had done. I believe that. And one of the reasons that I am doing this podcast is that, I believe that this is one of the main purposes of a military enthusiast club. It's to bring in those people who have those ideas, to iron out those ideas, so that they don't become problems for society and for everybody else later on. Mental health is like tooth decay. Like if it's there festering in the background and nobody's doing anything about it, naturally enough, when it explodes, it goes everywhere. The shit goes everywhere, you know? And that's why I do these podcasts in the first place. And that's why I do encourage more adult organizations, adult social organizations to form in whatever shape or form, preferably Rangers. And that's all I have to say on that. If you have any comments or suggestions on how better to deal with a situation like this, feel free to leave a comment. Take care.